returned once again to actually deliver a stream of Orb on the Movements of the Earth, the anime series. If Twitch is working, that is. Cool, we're actually good to go. So yes, so actually I watched episode 5. It constantly will tell me about these rewards I don't care about. So yes, today we actually are watching some more Orb on the Movements of Earth, episode 5. We left off last time. It was a very good introduction to Akozi and Glass's character. And I must say, what they did with the actual exploration of why Akozi won't look up is actually quite ingenious in a way. And I liked how they constantly examine the portrayal of this holy idea, and actually how, practically speaking, when he actually explained about wanting to go to heaven with the actual projection of heaven behind him, was actually telling you a completely different picture. It's more in line that he's been told he's meant to believe this, and he's saying it as if it's not it's not like a good thing, so to speak. It kind of counteracts the meaning behind seeing heaven behind someone. Kind of like that aspect. And we actually left off on the idea of Kozi's entire character being kind of flipped upside down because he has seen a person who's questioning everything. So I imagine this probably will end volume 2 of the manga series. If it does, we're in for a very good episode overall, I think. If they end it where I think they're ending it. I'm still unsure where exactly they're ending it on, though. Right, so, streaming. Come by and get comfy as well. Some more Orb. So I imagine that volume 3 will probably be a good chunk of the not a good chunk of the runtime, but a good portion of it. Because there's a lot of meat and potatoes in volume 3. They can't really do it in 2 episodes. So anyways, I should start this thing in 3, 2, 1. Let's start this thing absolutely now. Don't know why it doesn't actually start sometimes. Also, never noticed, and someone pointed out on Twitter that they actually made Novak older in the opening as well to actually reflect that it's different time now. I thought that's actually quite well done. I do actually kind of wonder whether or not they woke up that day thinking their entire perception on the world would just get flipped, basically. I wonder if both of them woke up that day yeah, you know what, today's a day. Today's a goddamn day. No, it's gonna show off his MLG skills. Because dude's got some MLG skills, surprisingly. Well, what I'm saying is, if this was 1500s, that man could probably be in a really good Halo team. He's like, well, shit, this is actually this is a bad time. I love how he just says no, it's fully focused, and he's just completely relaxed. The man's just that locked in. Bro's trying to pull the All Might scene just then. If you remove this scene directly after that scene, it would have made it seem like it's like he was trying to do like some My Hero Academia shit, passing the torch onto him. Technically, he's also the first person that, of course, is actually seen die contented as well, which is kind of cool. So yeah, it's one of those things. I do kind of wonder if there is a bit more to the fact that because he's still wearing the mask, well, balaclava or overall on his face, and Glass isn't essentially. Because that idea, because he's not fully embraced this idea that the heretics try and tell him, well, the other one has, and the other one doesn't really kind of feel any like remorse for removing their mask essentially. So definitely there's a bit more to that whole entire concept as well. That's at least maybe I'm just reading too much into it. I'm not too sure, but I kind of feel like there's a little bit there just to kind of examine a tiny bit more. But yeah, I mean, again, I feel like the pacing in the manga is a little bit more cleaner. Essentially, like the reveals kind of happened a bit more, what's the word? Fluidly. But I feel like the anime is doing a good job thus far. Direction itself really does elevate the series overall. It kind of adds a bit more to certain scenes that you kind of don't really see very often. I kind of like that aspect about it. Once again, it could do a little bit more. I mean, maybe later on when certain other arcs get adapted, and might then pull no punches basically, and actually give us like that good shit even more. But thus far, I mean, it's done an amazing job. It's actually adapted the series pretty damn well. Actually, I can't wait to see what else they do, especially with later on in this series as well, which actually has some pretty epic moments, as one might say. This one box has caused way too many problems in the series thus far. When you think about it as well, like goddamn, this one box. do kind of wonder if they will end it on Volume 2 today. Well, it might end on a reveal, I guess. Just kind of feel like it's going towards that. Honestly, the basement Attack on Titan's got nothing on this one chest. This chest has done a lot more for the plot than anything else. Like, goddamn, Attack on Titan basement got nothing on this chest. Yeah, he's the first person who's ever seen die with a smile on their face, which I think is quite interesting. Cause it sort of changes. I guess it sort of does, in theory, make you kind of then go back to Arc 1 as well and actually sort of examine when Raffle kind of dies as well. Because Raffle doesn't really die. He's scared about it, but he dies contented essentially. He doesn't die knowing he hasn't done anything. He dies knowing the actual cause still continues on. Bro, we get a midway card as well. What the fuck? Has there always been one? Do sort of get why Okoti's kind of hesitant towards the whole entire thing. It's one of those things that he's believed one thing his whole entire existence. As you then basically get told, actually, it's one of those things. It's a lot to take in. It's not something you can actually just accept and immediately go, yeah, sure, why not? I believe that. Oh boy, do they find the right person though? They find best boy, well, second best boy really. His character's so interesting. Because his character's so interesting as well. 'Cause he can't. He even has to have someone like choose for him as well. Because again, it's one of those things that he's been told his whole entire life, and this is actually the first time where you can, where I guess in a way that he's actually had a different thought process put forward to him. So does he continue on and actually see the world for what it actually is, or does he actually just continue with the way that he's been told his whole entire life? God, this series is so fucking good. This series is so fucking good. One of those things, you are seeing like a whole entire character arc in like 2 episodes. And it feels kind of genuine as well. It doesn't really feel like, oh, it's just going at a really fast pace. It's interesting as well that he sort of does still keep to the actual thought process to the very like, even when many things have kind of brought forward a different perspective, he still kind of keeps the idea that he's been told his whole entire life. It does actually tell you like how much it actually has been ingrained into him. Like I said, it does sort of change perception, like actually how you do see heaven portrayed in other series. Because here it's kind of portrayed to be this, almost like it's the complete polar opposite to a heavenly thing, effectively. If that makes sense. kind of feel like it's just the world's kind of cruel that way as well. It was like, yeah, we're getting somewhere. We're gonna go explore some shit, and boom, it's just like the world there to remind you the world's kind of shit and bad stuff happens. Also, bridges, man. Oh, I've been waiting for that line to be adapted to this whole entire time. I've been waiting for it. Again, he dies. He dies contented as well because he's passing the torch on. It's those sort of moments that sort of start to kind of break down Kozzy's like entire perspective essentially. I love it. It's one of the things. It's really well done how how it slowly starts to unravel that whole entire idea. Don't get me wrong, we didn't really have that much time with both of them, but in that time, you're seeing an entire character like change essentially, and it feels genuine essentially. It doesn't feel forced. Doesn't really feel fast paced. Doesn't feel anything. It feels like a natural progression of a person. Don't get me wrong. As I said in the manga, it's a little bit slower because it's sort of done as time goes on, but it's done very well here as well. I think. So exactly. I thought I'd actually leave it on that one moment. I was like, wait, what? Really? We're leaving it there? We're leaving it there? Not even a reveal? It's best boy. It's best boy. Also best boy. It's that one time Diavolo and Bucciarati actually kind of hooked up and did some shit together. Yeah, overall, really good episode as well. Like it goes from strength to strength each time, because it does in a subtle way. It doesn't really it's not a very overt like exploration of everything, because in the episode, even faced with all these kind of challenges and these differences in perspective, of course he still keeps the same perspective. He doesn't ever change. He still believes that the earth is lowly and the only thing we should be worrying about is going to heaven or going to hell. That's it, basically. Everything else is kind of secondary. Like you're not meant to look up at the stars. He's still kind of got that perspective until the very end of the episode. And I kind of like that because again, you would think after being faced with all of these things, he would be like, "Yeah, actually, maybe you might be kind of right here. There might be something else going on. Actually, I might be wrong in my way of thinking." But no, but then it also kind of adds to it because it kind of tells you before everything, he actually loved looking at the stars. And that stuff like that really does go a long way to actually kind of tell you like how depressing it is to be told that you not to look up at it, because essentially the earth is just this lowly thing. You look up the stars because the earth's so lowly, and essentially it's always eyes upon you from down up above. And I like that, how it still kind of brings that in to actually add a little bit more kind of context to the whole entire thing. And then, as said, the heretic died with a smile on his face, and so did Grass as well. Stuff like that really does go a long way. It's one of those things that tells you that the perspective he has is beginning to kind of change. It's one of those things that it's starting to kind of unravel because there's so many things that he once believed in now starting to kind of alter. And I like that because again, it's one of those things that I tried pausing the thing, it won't pause. There we go. Um, it's one of those things that it makes sense to slowly start to unravel because again, he believed there's no one. Every person he's killed thus far hasn't had a smile on his face. These two have because again, they're passing the torch on. It's one of those. It's kind of like it gets explored more later on to the series itself, but it's a nice message to actually kind of say that even though we've had this very small time with Grass's character, essentially the actual time he's been here, he's done a lot because he's passing the torch on. He's not allowing the thought process, what he believed in, everything like that, to kind of die. He's going, but what he believes in still continues on. The same thing then applies to Raffle's character. Raffle actually allowed that whole entire idea to actually slowly start to kind of creep in a bit more, and actually slowly start to grow. So then the hope still continues on, the actual thought process continues on. And that's important because it's one of those things that, again, it changes how you see how Arc 1 ended. It kind of reduces the pressing aspect about it. Like, yeah, Raffle dies. It's fucking depressing to see him go. But at the same time, what he believes in and everything like that still continues on. And it's nice. It's a nice way to actually kind of keep that alive. It's not it keeps his character alive. It keeps everyone subsequently as well alive. It's not one of those things that it's just going to go away. And I like how in Arc One, it actually kind of plants that seed because again, like he says to Nowak, you may be getting rid of me, but you won't get rid of all of us. We're still out there. And one of those things that again, yeah, there's loads of people like him out there. We've seen it in this arc. We saw it in this arc too. We might see it later on in the series as well. Who knows? I ain't gonna say anything about the future of the series, but can't fucking wait for the rest of the series because it's gonna be so goddamn good. But yeah, I mean, as I said, yeah, it's depressing. Don't get me wrong, because again, it's a small time we get with these characters, but in that small time we get so much out of them. It's stuff you don't see very often in other series. It's like in other series, it takes like 25 episodes to even get to this point. But in like 2 episodes, we've got an entire almost character arc with Cossy's character, and it's only going to get better as time goes on. That's the thing. I keep saying like this isn't the best the series will be. The series will just keep getting better and better and better and better and better. And it's just one of those things that it's impressive how the series keeps doing it. There's not a single moment's wasted. Every single moment adds more to the entire world and actually adds more to the characters. I can't stress enough how good this series actually is. And yeah, I mean, I hope it kind of gets a bit more traction as time goes on, especially when it gets to Pias's arc as well later on to the series, because goddamn, that arc is gonna like blow everyone away. Like it's just gonna be like, bruh, what the fuck? Anime can do this? What the fuck? And yeah, I mean, shout out to Kozzy as well. He's kind of cool. He's kind of a cool dude, even though again he still kind of keeps to his guns. He's a guy who keeps to his guns, but it kind of then gives you a bit more perspective on the entire like way the church is actually kind of teaching him everything. Like in essence, how he's been kind of told, but not told in the kind of like in a unique like actually by the way just concentrate on going to heaven. Heaven, that's about it, bruh. No, it's more like he's been told like everything else is like secondary, like to it. Like you just need to focus on that one thing, and everything else is actually lowly and effectively. And it's sad because again, what once he loved is gone, and now he has to kind of regain it. But it's going to be one of those things. It's going to take a long time. It happened with Grass's character as well because Grass lost his family, but he slowly grew to grow that hope, and now we might see that with Akotsu's character as well. Who knows? So I guess we'll see in next week's episode. So yes, that is me done for today. So I actually have enjoyed the entire stream as a whole, and as always, do leave a follow on Twitch where you can watch these streams live. follow me on follow me. If you actually have enjoyed the entire stream as a whole on YouTube as well, and as always, do leave a like, it does help quite a bit. Leave a sub as well, both do help quite a lot. Actually, have then enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole on YouTube, and as always, do leave a follow on Twitter as well. Helps quite a bit. Also, actually, will then know when these streams are live and any other streams I may do as well. So yes, until next episode 6 of Orb on the Movements of the Earth. Until then, see you guys later. Bye for now.